Welcome back to the video here on the Unknown Code YouTube channel. As always, I am Ethan, and today we are doing another LeetCode problem. This time around, we're doing replace elements with greatest element on the right side. This one is a little bit complicated and sometimes confusing to figure out. So this says, given an array R, replace every element in that array with the greatest element among the elements to its right, and replace the last element with -1. And then after doing this, return the array. So basically, this is a searching algorithm where you're searching for the largest number on the right side, as it says, and then go ahead and shift all those elements over. What's best is to go ahead and take a look at an example of how this works. So let's go ahead and hop down below and try to explain it through the examples. So for example number 1, we're going to start with an array with 17, 18, 5, 4, 6, and 1. And in this problem, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the value to the right. So the value largest to the right of index 0 is going to be 18. And the next largest value to the right of index 1 is going to be equal to 6. The next largest value at the right of index 2 is going to be equal to 6. The largest value to the right of index 3 is equal to 6. The largest value at the right of index 4 is equal to 1. And finally, index number 5 is going to be the last index, so we replace it with -1. So we searched and we put 18 to here. We found 6, we found 6, we found 6, we found 1. Then we had nothing else to the right, so we put -1. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next example. Example number 2 is a short one. All we have is an array equal to 400. In this case, there's nothing to the right of index 0, so the output is going to be equal to an array with -1. All right, so that's how our examples break down. Hopefully it makes a little bit more sense to you. Let's go ahead and hop back up, take a look at our constraints, and try to figure out some pseudocode. Our constraints for this one are pretty generic. The first one is 1 is less than or equal to array.length is less than or equal to 10 to the 4. All this is saying is that the array.length is between 1 and 1000. Nothing too crazy for us to worry about there. The next constraint says 1 is less than or equal to array is less than or equal to 10 to the 5. Once again, all this is saying is that the value stored inside the array is between 1 and 10,000. So nothing too useful for us there. So what is going to be our goal for this problem? We obviously want to loop through the array. We want to look forward until we've found the largest number to the right of our current index, and then go ahead and copy that value over until we reach the end of the array. And just like many other array problems here on LeetCode, there's going to be many ways that we can solve this. And if we wanted to, we could create a whole new array and then copy over elements as we find them. However, this problem is actually able to be solved by modifying the array in place, saving us some time complexity as well as possibly not looping as much. Let's think back to a couple problems ago where we basically replaced elements inside of an array in place. There, we sort of used a pointer for the current value we were replacing, as well as maybe a pointer for the value that we are copying over. We can kind of use similar logic for determining the largest value as well as what we want to copy it over to. So let's go ahead and take a look at some pseudocode for this problem using this approach. For this pseudocode, we want to start with our pointer to the max value being equal to -1. And we're doing this just to set it as some arbitrary value that's definitely going to be smaller than any value inside the array. Then we want to loop through the array starting at the end. And we want to check if the max value is currently less than the value at the current index. If this is the case, we want to go ahead and swap the values of max and the value of array at that current index. Otherwise, we just want to set the value at the current index to max. Then at the end of the array, we want to go ahead and just return. So this is what our pseudocode is going to look like. Let's go ahead and take a look at an example. For our example, we're going to be looking at array equal to 17, 18, 5, 4, 6, and 1 again. We're going to go ahead and say iteration 0. And at iteration 0, our max is going to be equal to -1. Our index is going to be equal to 5. And our array index is equal to 1. So here, our array at index is greater than max. So we want to go ahead and swap. So now our array index is going to equal to -1 and our max is going to equal to 1. Now we move on to iteration 1. Our max is now equal to 1. Our index is equal to 4 and our array of index is equal to 6. Once again, array of index is greater than max. So we're going to go ahead and set array of index equal to 1 and our max is going to be equal to 6. Let's move on to our next iteration, iteration I equal 2. Here, max is equal to 6. Our index is equal to 3, and our array of index is equal to 4. Now max is greater than array of index, so this means that we're going to set array of index equal to max. Moving on to iteration I equal 3, our max is still equal to 6, our index is equal to 2, and our array of index is equal to 5. Here our max is still greater than array of index, so now we just want to set array of index equal to max, and we continue our loop to iteration I equal 4. max is still equal to 6, our index is equal to 1, our array of index is equal to 18. Now our array of index is greater than max. So that means we're going to go ahead and set max equal to 18. An array of index is going to be equal to max, which is equal to 6. For iteration I equal 5, our max is equal to 18, our index is equal to 0, and our array of index is equal to 17. So now our array of index is less than max. So we're just going to go ahead and set array of index equal to max. For iteration I equals 6, now we are out of bounds, so this is end of loop, and we go ahead and return array. So that's how our pseudocode breaks down. Let's hop over to LeetCode and take a look at the code that makes this work. Like we mentioned, we're going to start out with a pointer to the max value. So we're going to say int max is equal to -1. Then from here, we're going to go ahead and loop through. So for int I is equal to array.length -1. I is greater than or equal to 0, and I minus minus. We're starting at the end and going backwards. Then we're going to say if our max is less than array of I. If this is a case we want to swap, so we're going to say int temp is equal to array of I. Then we're going to say array of I is equal to max. Then we're going to say max is equal to temp. Then we'll continue the loop. If that's not the case, we'll go ahead and say array of I is equal to max. And we'll go ahead and return the array. And fingers crossed I didn't break anything. Previously I swapped the less than sign with greater than and it broke some things. And there we go. We get 1 millisecond. As you see, I broke it a couple times on accident by swapping this. But this is going to beat 100% of the runtimes here on LeetCode. It also beats 83% because we did everything in place. I'm sure there's a way to make it so you don't have to use the temp and the max, but I'm not that concerned about it. As always, if you guys did find some value in this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I make videos like this all the time. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder. I want you guys to have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.